Good morning, everyone. Another edition of Chat Canna. We hope everyone had a wonderful, wonderful Labor Day weekend. I always mix up Labor Day and Memorial Day. We are going to have an exciting show. We have a guest from Minnesota, from the, I got to get it right, Hemp Farmers and Manufacturers Association. First of all, hope you had a wonderful weekend, Veronica.
I did.
Don't tell me you worked.
I did.
Shouldn't have done that. No,
I did. I worked, but I also worked on my yard. So,
okay. Well,
yeah,
that
hey, it's a long weekend. You got to get that yard work done.
I'm John Reitmeyer. Welcome to the show, everybody. Right here, it's always backwards. See, if you're over there, then you're over here. Veronica Michael from Prairie Products down in Fargo, and our special guest today. This is awesome. I follow him on LinkedIn. If you're not a LinkedIn member, you should become a LinkedIn member because you just learn a whole lot about whatever industry you're in if you're a LinkedIn member. And I've been following Matt Kaiser on LinkedIn, well, since I got into the hemp business, I think. And he's active on LinkedIn, and you're always finding out what he's doing. And we're grateful that he's here to be with us today. He is the big guy, the program director for the Minnesota Hemp Farmers and Manufacturers Association. A whole big mouthful of words there. We're going to find out what it's all about. Welcome this morning, Matt.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey.
So I am the program director here with the Minnesota Hemp Farmers and Manufacturers Association. We were founded in 2018 on the premise of scientific research and education. I joined at the beginning of last year and have pretty much taken the reins of all the outward-facing programs here. It got our start because of what we were seeing in the industry is just a lot of problems, a lot of lack of education out there, and we were getting calls nonstop. And it seems like I still am. And so I think that's what we're going to be talking about. But we were getting nonstop calls from farmers dealing with issues from seed all the way through sale. And so actually, even before seed, licensing has been an issue. So as you can imagine, that hits a lot of areas. And so just working in this industry for the last several years and just forming the context that we have, it's really become apparent that more and more networking opportunities are needed. People need to be put in contact with each other, with verified professionals in their field, and not a lot of the games that we've seen the last few years of people experimenting with other people's money, and just not hitting the mark, not keeping the promises. So that's kind of the role.
That's a lot. So Matt, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? How did you personally get interested in hemp?
So I've been a long time advocate for cannabis. I myself am a medical user here in the state of Minnesota. Luckily, we are a medical state. And that was my passion for a long time. I always saw the long-term benefits, not just the medical. I was a reader originally of Jack Rare's "The Emperor Wears No Shorts," and saw the criminalization of this plant as a real barrier to our people, to American citizens, not just medically but economically as well, in rural America. Because this is a crop that had a huge impact on our economy and on the nation so many years ago. And so when hemp became legal again, it really opened up the avenues for legal entry into this industry. I was always really dissuaded from pursuing any kind of professional career in this because of the illegality of it for so long. And with hemp finally legal, it really opens up that avenues for research and for education, for really disseminating real information that's backed by scientific studies. And that's the type of information that we need. Not a lot of the fly by night, this worked for me, so maybe it'll work for you type of thing.
There's nothing like a real actual university double-blind study to prove or disprove something. And it's like, it's almost like, if you put it on your radar, or your satellite dish, it'll actually translate languages for you. It's so magical, this CBD product, and it's not quite that magical. Something you said though was making experiments with other people's money. At least if you go to Vegas, you know the odds exactly. You know, when you put that money down on the craps table, I can tell you, you have a 1 in 36 chance of rolling your next dice. But you hit it exactly right, that people are taking big chances sometimes with farmers' money or producers' money or processors' money. And it's kind of like, let's try it and see what happens. And we got to stop that. We got to make it so that it's a known thing. So at least in Vegas, we know the odds. We got to know what the odds are here when we're dealing with this new product. So I love your words on that. That was really great.
Yeah. You know, sustainability is really the key word that we try and put into everything that we do, in every action. If there's not a long-term benefit, then it's not going to help the economy. It's not going to help our communities. It's not going to help the individual farmers. So that's really what we're going for.
So how do people become members of your organization?
So membership is really easy. You can go right onto our website, www.mhfma.mn. Membership is $25 for an individual. Business memberships are affordable as well, starting at, I believe, $150. So yeah, with that, you get a lot of the membership discounts that we have worked out with product manufacturers, equipment, seeds, nutrients, what have you. And then also access to the network. Pretty much, I am on call for farmers 24/7, which is what I do the majority of the day here, is handle issues as they come up, because that's kind of the industry that we're playing with right now. There isn't anything really set in stone. We're really dealing with an interim final rule. We're dealing with kind of piecemeal rules put together by the USDA, by the FDA, and by the DEA now. And so just kind of navigating that whole situation has really been difficult for everybody, including ourselves here with, even with all the resources we've got.
What would you say are the top 2 or 3 questions you're getting from growers who reach out to you guys?
So right now it's this whole it's the DEA rule. There's still a lot of questions about the retail market for CBD products, whether that's in a food item or a human consumable, as we sometimes call it, because we can't have food with CBD, and the legality of smokable products as well. We saw a minor or an uptick in the this new Delta 8 THC hitting the market. And so we've been getting a lot of calls from farmers, from manufacturers, and retailers asking about that product. And is it legal? What's the deal with it? What's the opinion? And then right now, just at this time of year, we're pre-harvest. Everyone's dealing with a lot of pest issues. We'll start seeing mold issues as the weather starts changing, like we're seeing right now with this cold dampness.
Heavy dew. We really had heavy dew in the last couple of days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the life of a farmer. I mean, you play with the weather, you watch the weather and react accordingly.
We lifted ours up. Casey and team went out and put wire mesh around and lifted them up off the ground for the first time this year, just to see. That's our test to see. So we didn't want them down in that, because the ground is wet here for some reason this year.
Yeah.
The top of our ground. So we've done that to see how that affects things. So. Well, Veronica, have you got anybody talking about any crops coming in yet, or anything heading your way?
No, not yet. I think everyone has had a tough, there's been some tough patches in our region with water, with wind, hail, pests. So I think I've heard like a gamut. I think everyone is looking forward to preparing lots of hands for harvest and drying. But there's a lot of work ahead, And it has been strangely cold here in Fargo. The last couple of days, we were at 52 and 54 degrees.
We're talking some frost across the upper region here now tonight. But of course, frost didn't seem to bother our crop last year. You know, that little twinge. I don't know if just because they were all out there together that they shivered together, but you know, that wasn't the stopping point. A little bit of frost didn't hurt us at all. The 8 inches of rain and a snowstorm, now that was a bit more trouble. But but you know, the little bit of frost. So I don't think tonight is going to be any kind of a problem for anybody up here yet. So, and it's early. My dad always said September 15th is the day. So
that's my birthday.
No kidding.
No
kidding. Wow.
Yeah. You know, before we got started, Matt and I were talking about a visit you had recently to a grower that was fascinating. Can you share some of that, or
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we've been really taking a strong interest in the industrial aspects of the plant, and you know, the individuals and businesses here that are working with the fiber and grain. And one of those that we visited yesterday, I was also working on the holiday. We took a trip out to Hutchinson, Minnesota, where there's a farmer growing in the traditional Japanese method of for fiber. And they were very tall plants when we went out there. He had already harvested the majority of his field.
Like a single stem plant or the Christmas tree kind?
Yeah, no, they are. So he does not top them, so they don't get bushy. But they are you know, around 14 to 16 feet tall.
Oh, so the single stem going up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for fiber specifically.
Yeah.
Correct. And they very meticulously, you know, cultivate those plants, even though they're very thinly spaced. So that way they do grow really tall. They compete with each other. They still go and they walk the fields, and they'll pick out the weak ones. And then they'll trim off the leaves. They'll pick off those side branches on the lower and just leave the tops. So that way it encourages lateral growth, and you get, extremely long internodal spacing, which is what you want for that fiber. Sometimes, you know, he was saying that you can get individual fiber strands up to 2 feet long. And the method that they're doing it, because they're doing everything by hand, they literally pick apart each individual thread and then respin those together. And so the length of the thread is what's valued.
Yeah, amazingly for like textiles like rugs or other, amazing fiber. Wow. Is this something that they had as a family been doing, or have they gotten interested in growing hemp and thought, we want to reflect this practice?
So his wife is a Japanese resident, comes to America for half the year and goes back to Japan. And so even in Japan, hemp is still outlawed. It is an illegal substance. And so the only, right? Like us a few years ago. And so the only organization in Japan that's allowed to possess and work with the material is the Preservation Society. And so they're members of that Preservation Society, where they're you know, continuing to preserve and educate and pass along that information of how these robes and materials were grown and manufactured, processed from, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But it's very much a dying art.
So where's this hemp that you saw in Hutchinson? Where is that headed? Is that going to go to Japan then, or where might that be headed?
I think some of it is going to go to Japan, because it's a highly valued crop there. It's because it's illegal. It's highly valued once it's been grown and harvested here.
Once it's harvested, is it illegal then once it's been processed into some sort of something?
No, because they're really just working with the stems and the fibrous material.
And then that's okay.
You know,
that's okay then. Yeah.
Right. It's very much, I mean, it's still a reminiscent of what we still deal with here. Is, you know, you look at the plant while it's growing and you see those leaves and you see the top buds and you associate that with marijuana.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. So Japan has a want for this fibrous material because it makes their fine robes and things, but yet a very
Correct.
limited ability to raise it.
Right. Yeah. And I know they do a lot of the arts and crafts and the demonstrations here on site as well. He had a whole work shed, which is really exciting to see.
Yeah.
That would be really
Yeah.
exciting. I'm
He grows his
fascinated by
own
fiber
indigo as well,
textile.
and
Oh,
yeah, it does all the dyeing and everything by hand. It's really an
wow.
amazing facility. Yeah.
That would be amazing to see. That's
hmm
awesome. There's some
And then
beautiful artisans here in this area.
Mhm. Definitely, and we contrast that with just a few weeks ago we went out to Olivia, Minnesota, for it was their field day in prairie producers out of they have a very similar name, but prairie producers out of Olivia, and they have it's all baled up now. They have a few hundred bales now of redded hemp. Yeah, they're another LinkedIn member there. That's how I found them. Um, they've got a few some really nice videos of their process in the field of harvesting, raking over, and turning that in the field with the heavy machinery, like you would. So not really reinventing the wheel. We're trying to see, or they're rather trying to see what existing equipment can be adapted and used with hemp.
Wow. Well,
And
we would love an introduction to both of these growers and producers.
yeah.
We'd love to talk to them and
Yeah,
hear their
absolutely.
story. It'd be great, wouldn't it, John?
Oh, wow, unbelievable. Yeah. Did you pick up all where these hundreds of bales are headed? What direction or what the view is? Is there CBD in there or is that all industrial side?
So yeah, that's all just the redded fiber.
Oh,
So when we went and visited the plants, they were harvesting it at the time, and
yep.
so we went and took pictures and went and saw the field, and these were 12, maybe 10 to 14 feet tall, and there were no bud sites
Right.
on the plants. It was a homogeneous crop of very very even, but no differentiation between males and females. All looked identical, with just no sexing at all.
Right. Did you get a variety of them? What the variety was?
It was called Hanma, so it was the official Chinese variety.
Uh-huh.
It's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Got to find
And
out more about that. There's always more to learn.
yeah.
It's just what an interesting thing that in little old Minnesota, here we've got, something that is of extreme value as a crop over in Japan. I mean, usually
Mm-hmm.
it seems like we're the importer all the time, that the money is going out of the country and products are coming in. But all of a sudden here we've got something that can turn that around even in just a little way. And that's really an awesome thing when that can happen. So, wow.
So,
Neat.
Matt, I have a question. So, what do you see ahead of you for the Minnesota Hemp Farmers and Manufacturers Association in 2021?
So 2021, we're doing a lot more outreach. Events that occurred this year really put us behind. We were definitely planning more farm site visits, public events, doing those things, and we had to postpone those. And we actively are pursuing, picking those back up for next year. Hopefully, we can have something at the end of this year as well. Looking forward to that. But at the same time, we're really looking to work individually with our members and work with whatever issues that they may be having. We have a really close relationship with our State Department of Agriculture, Department of Employment and Economic Assistance, and the economic development agencies here. And so with our 501c3 status as a nonprofit, we do want to act as an intermediary here so we can receive grant funds for the benefit of our members and stakeholders here in Minnesota, because like we said earlier, everyone's really at the experimental stage. Regardless if you have your processes in line, there's still room for experiments. There's still room for research and narrowing and honing in the processes. And so if we can make some of that that funds available, it would really benefit the whole industry here. And that's what we're aiming for, is a real robust hemp industry here in Minnesota and in the Midwest with our neighbors here.
Agreed. Agreed.
Wow, this has gone by really fast. We really want to thank you for being with us today. This is, we found out a whole lot of information. I think that it's valuable to have guys like you on, guys and gals, of course. I always do that. I'm old school. So Veronica always has to hit my hand once in a while. But this is really neat stuff. We hope that you'll be with us, from time to time. And whenever you have something new or exciting or something, like this Japanese thing, or just the, we have not seen up here the fields of 14-foot or 16-foot tall hemp. I've not physically seen that with my own eyes yet.
We need to get Chris Adams on this show.
Yeah.
I have seen some hemp for seed, though, grown at that height.
I have only seen his, Christmas tree, the Christmas tree farms, the CBD stuff as we had here. So I got to get out, of course, like so many IT guys, I'm stuck to my computer. Show me a picture. But I got to get out and, touch and feel and see this stuff. So, Matt, thank you. We'll throw up, I've got an email here for you. If you want to send Matt an email, this is his email address. And of course, you can always stop the video to lock onto that and do that, and we'll have some links for you. This has been great. Thank you for coming on for short notice. Did he freeze? Did we lose? Did Matt freeze up?
He looks like he's a little frozen.
I did freeze.
Back.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Okay. Well, like we said, there's going to be frost, so you never know what might happen with the show. So we will look forward to talking to you again. We're going to put you down in the green room. Stay there for just a little while if you have a minute. And Veronica, we're looking for a Have You Heard tomorrow morning. That's going to be a short version of Chat Canna for our Wednesday version. And then, of course, Thursday, another long show. So we hope that everyone will join us and stay with us right here on both of our channels on Facebook and YouTube. Please click the like and friend. And on YouTube, hit that subscribe button and the little bell, and we'll let you know every time that we are broadcasting another one of our shows. I know you have to get back to work soon, so it's always fun talking with you. We'll say goodbye to all of our friends here, and have a great day, everybody, and get out there and hempicize. Is that a good word? Exercise, hempicize.
Evangelize hemp. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Okay. We'll do something like that. We'll see everybody
Bye,
tomorrow.
guys. Thanks for joining us.
Right.
Bye-bye.